What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to another story time. Appreciate y'all for all the support and comments that y'all been giving on these videos. Let's keep going strong. I really do appreciate it. But let's get right into this amazing story time I got for you guys today. This one is about me and my friend that most of y'all will know. Some of y'all may not know. We'll call him L. Some of y'all will know from my other story times. But we decided that we would go to a stripper's house party. Now, one day during the summertime, it was a few years ago. I was sitting there and I was just scrolling through Snapchat, when Snapchat was big back then. I was scrolling through Snapchat, just looking around, trying to see like what people were doing and all that stuff. And I come across one of my friends that's a girl that I knew back then. We'll call her Mary. Mary was on Snap, and I went through and I saw her Snap, and it was like, okay, it showed house party, and I'm like, okay, let's shoot a house party address and stuff like that, and it says DM for address, and I'm like, okay, bet. So just text Mary, and I'm just like, hey Mary, this is Fred and all this stuff, remember me and all that, and we just talking and stuff like that, normal stuff. And I'm like, oh, I saw this house party thing, am I able to get the address and how much is it going to cost and stuff like that? And she's like, oh, it should cost like $20 or something like that, but bring some extra money and all that stuff just in case and all that. And I'm like, okay, bet. So I get the $20, stuff like that, got the money, and I start I'm like, but this is my first time going out, with this girl, because I've known her in middle school, but I did not really know of her. Like, I didn't really know how she was and stuff like that, and like what house I was going to. So I was like, I'm gonna get one of my friends to come with me. So I call up L, good friend L. I'm like, yo, bro, what's up, bro? You think you can pull up with me to this house party that I'm supposed to be going up to? And you know how L is. L's like, yo, bet, say less. I'm gonna come with you too. So he agrees to come. He's just like, I gotta clean up after my dog. So after that we can go. So the party's around like 10 o'clock, and I'm like, okay, bet. So I pick him up around 10 o'clock. We get there around like 10:30, stuff like that. We pay, we get inside. They're doing the regular pat down and everything like that, patting you down, trying to make sure that, you don't have anything on you, stuff like that. And they're like, okay, everybody's downstairs, so you got to go downstairs, stuff like that. So we go down to the basement. There's a lot of guys down there. I'm not going to lie, this basement was like packed. The basement probably had about like 40 guys in it, and then like 20 girls. And I'm like, yo, this is a huge basement. And I'm like, okay, not too bad a ratio, but we would like more girls than guys, because usually gets a little weird when there's more guys than girls. But so we're all there, the guys are separate from the girls. That's usually how the party starts off and all that stuff. While me and L, who are sitting there waiting and all that stuff for people to actually start dancing, stuff like that, I decide that I'm gonna text Mary and see where she's at. And I text Mary and I'm like, hey Mary, where are you at? I'm down here with my friend L, and we trying to find out, where you're at, because I'm just bored. There ain't nobody. I don't really nobody anybody down here. So she's like, oh yeah, I'm good. I'm upstairs with these other girls, and we're about to come downstairs and all that stuff. And I'm like, okay, bet. That sounds good. So I told L that that she was coming downstairs and all that stuff, and he's like, okay, bet. So we just sitting there talking to each other, having normal conversation, trying to see what everybody else is doing, because this is a big party, and you want to look around just to make sure where you're at. And she finally walks downstairs, and I'm like, okay. She walks downstairs with all these other people, and when I tell you that me and L were shocked, we were shocked, because they all come downstairs. There's probably about, like, give or take, like 15 girls that come downstairs, and they all come downstairs, and they're basically like almost naked, and we're like, this is like crazy. I'm like, what is happening here? So she walks up to me, and Mary's like, hey Fred, what's up? And I'm like, yo, what's up? And I'm like, I asked her the question. I'm like, so what's happening here? Why is everybody, dressed up like this? And she's like, oh, this is a stripper's house party, and this is where, you can, you supposed to throw bills and all this other stuff and all this. And I'm like, oh shoot, this is what we supposed. I said, I didn't even know. I said, shoot, I should have read some joint. I should have read the description of this joint or some shit. You should have told me. She's like, oh, you didn't know? That's why she asked me to bring the other bills. And I'm like, oh shit, I didn't know that. So but I'm like, me and Elle are already there, so we're just like, you know what, we stay and all that stuff. And we have to, you have to get like supposed to bring small bills. Now I didn't bring any small bills because I didn't have any, so I brought like $60. But they're all in big bills. But then they had people walking around the party with like ones and all that, and you could trade it for the ones. Now we traded for the ones, get all that stuff. We had fun at the party. The party was fun. It went from like 10:30 to around like 2:30 a.m. So we were off. It was all fun and stuff like that. L disappeared for a little while, came back. He was smiling. He was all good and all that stuff. But I think it was a great party, stuff like that. I enjoyed the time there. What I would tell you is that once I lost like probably I spent $100 of my whole probably money back then. Now, back then I didn't have a lot of money. I was working, but I was working for my own grass company that I was making like $40 per grass cutting. So it was like that was like 2 weeks of my grass cutting money right there, and I was just like, damn, it really felt like a waste because I was like that joint. But it was an experience that I wouldn't trade for anything. But yeah, it definitely wasted like $100 back then for that joint. Now the moral of the story for this one is just be careful. Like, make sure when you're trying to go to these parties and stuff like that, you look at the address, you look at where it's supposed to be, like who's supposed to be there, if there's any celebrities or anything like that. Just check to make sure that you're going to be in a safe area where you're not going to be like in danger or anything like that. And make sure that if it is like a party with strippers or anything like that, that you have like money if you're trying to do any of that. And if you don't have any of that, then just go to a different party that's like stuff like that. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did get to the end of the video, leave a comment. It doesn't have to be anything special. If you have a story time that you guys may want to share with me, I'm down to listen and all that stuff. I'll definitely comment back, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of y'all day. Y'all enjoy yourselves.